What's up, everyone? So, I'm just gonna get right into it today. I'm gonna be talking about my vegan journey because a lot of people ask me so many questions. They ask me, what made me go vegan, why I go vegan. People sometimes try to make fun of me or always be like, oh, I could never see myself not eating meat. But then, like, over time, they get really curious, They're like, well, what are you eating? Or, you know, just, of course, a lot of questions as to why I'm vegan, how I transitioned. So it started in 2015. I said in my last video that I posted, I don't know why these lights are on. I'm in my car. I was gonna do this outside, but it's just so gloomy out. And I talked about my spiritual awakening and how I came to that. So this is a part of that, when I became aware, self-conscious, and just had realizations kind of like download into my spirit. I came across somebody posting about veganism, and it kind of just hit me like a ton of bricks right then and there. I never heard anyone talk about any of the stuff that I was looking into. I was kind of looking into like conspiracy theories and, like religion and like deeper parts of religion that I don't feel like are talked about in the church. And somehow in my rabbit hole, I came across veganism. And it's something, again, that I never heard about. I never heard of anyone being vegan. I never met a vegan, a vegetarian, nobody like that in my life. Like, I never met anyone like that. So I was very open to the information from, my point of view. So I'm kind of looking at this and again, it just hit me and I was like, bro, like, I'm putting meat, like dead animals in my body. Like, I don't think we think about how crazy this sounds, how crazy it really sounds. I don't judge. If you want to do what you want to do. I ate meat for about 21 years of my life, because I found all this information when I was like 2021, and I was like, yo, like, we're literally eating dead flesh. Like, it just sounds crazy to me. Like, you go into Walmart, you go into like all these stores, and it's just like dead animals everywhere. Like, it just doesn't seem right. Like when you really take yourself out of this matrix, out of what we've been told, oh, this is right, and this is how we're supposed to live, this is what we're supposed to eat. When you kind of take a step back and really look at it, it just seems really weird and crazy that people all over we just picking up dead animals. Like, they're just packaged in these little boxes. They've been dead for who knows how long. And then people have this argument, well, that's why it's better to kill your meat yourself and cook it. And I just have this theory that if you go back into before we knew about fire, before we had stoves and stuff, how were we going to eat meat? Like, I really think when I come up to conclusions, I really think it all the way through. I don't just think about right now or like be biased because I want my opinion to be right. I really be thinking like, okay, so before we knew about fire, before we had any tools to kill animals, how are we going to eat these animals without getting sick? Because you know good and well, like I do, that if you ate an animal's flesh raw and all their blood, we gonna get really sick. You gonna get sick. Like, that's just a fact. And so I was just like, when I came to this realization, I was like, yo, we're really eating dead flesh. Like, this is tissue. This is another being's muscles, flesh. It's just crazy to me. And not only that, we're eating their blood. Like, we're literally digesting their blood. Like, this is going into our body. And I'm like, that just is, it sounds crazy to me. Like, I never realized it. I love chicken. My favorite food is French toast, which dairy is horrible for you. Dairy is completely bad for you. And let me talk to you guys about this dairy thing for a second, because once I started going vegan, I kind of a year later, cut out dairy completely. And I was doing a test on myself because I have really bad cramps. Like, my menstrual cycle is horrible. Or it was a lot more worse than what it is now. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. So I completely cut out dairy for a month. And then my menstrual came. It wasn't as bad. Like, I wasn't like throwing up and stuff like I usually was. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat some cookies and cream ice cream. And then when I had my menstrual, bro, I was sicker than I ever been before. And I was like, so I started doing research. I watched What the Health. And, they talk a lot about dairy and how, it gives you heart disease and, it clogs your arteries. And it's really like, I was like, no wonder why we always so constipated. Like, you really supposed to go number 2 as much as you eat, because your body has to clean out what you've eaten for the day. So if you wake up and you ain't did number 2 and you ain't did it for a day or two, that's not good. It's not good. And we're really backed up, like with all this meat. I was like researching meat and stuff around that time when I first became aware, and I'm like, it takes your body 3-4 days to digest meat. So, in that time, it's getting hard in your body, which means it's getting stuck. And this is facts, because I was having really bad digestive issues one day. And I wasn't going to the bathroom and stuff. And so I go to the doctor, and they're like, yeah, you got like feces backed up. And I was scared, because I was like, I thought I was living life right. And, come to find out, a lot of Americans, a lot of people in general are backed up because our bodies are not properly digesting the food we put in, because it's not made for us. Like, like back to dairy, we're not baby cows. When you think about milk in all forms of life, the only time anyone drinks milk is when they're babies. And, so we should be naturally breastfeeding our children and not, giving them dairy substances, because that's just nature. That's how it works. And so I was freaked out. I was just like, man, like I'm a hypochondriac. So I was like, man, I'm killing myself right now. I was just like doing all this research. I was up until the next morning. I think I might have called out of work because I was up all night researching stuff when I first became self-aware. And, I decided right then and there that I didn't want to eat meat anymore. Now, that wasn't easy because I was uneducated. There's not as many things around now as, that was like 2015, so that was 5 years ago. And that's still, it wasn't like as popular as it is now. So they didn't have a lot of the options they do now in stores, like that make it a lot easier, or as much people talking about it. So I'm over here trying to eat tofu and like impossible meat and all that crap that's just as bad as meat. And so I got like really weak and sick and stuff because I just wasn't educated. I didn't know what kind of fruit and vegetables to eat, how to make a nutritious meal. I was just eating vegan junk food, all the soy crap. And so that was bad for me just as much as eating meat was. So I kind of like went back into meat, and I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. So I cut everything out but chicken. FYI, chicken is probably one of the worst meats besides ham, or like pork, I should say. Lots of fat, high cholesterol, all that stuff. It's just really bad for your arteries. And so I only ate chicken, and I was back to like kind of eating dairy as far as like having cheese or like, eating French toast and stuff, but I wasn't like drinking milk or eating eggs or nothing like that. So I ate chicken for a little while, and then I transitioned to pescatarian. So I was only eating pretty much shrimp because I don't like fish. Fish has always been nasty to me. I tried fish. Some of them were okay, but I just couldn't get with it. And lobster. So I was eating a lot of shrimp and lobster. And, I met my fiance, and we both, like, I prayed. When I wrote down this list to find my husband, I was like, he got to be vegan. Like, that was number one. And when we met, he was like, yeah, I'm trying to go vegan and stuff. And I was like, God is real. Whatever. It worked. So we both did this transitioning together. And when we moved to LA, he actually, catapulted us into where we are today. And he was like, well, let's just go vegan. And I was like, well, bet. So ever since 2017, so about almost 3 years ago, in August, it'll be 3 years, we've been living a vegan lifestyle. Now, sometimes we do mess up because, of course, lack of education. I was eating Pop-Tarts, which anything with like jelly-like substance is made out of some kind of animal bone. They got animal bones and like jelly Pop-Tarts, like little gummies and stuff. So as far as that, I would like slip up here and there because sometimes I wasn't always reading ingredients. If I didn't see fish or animal products, I was like, oh, okay, it's good. And I wouldn't read the whole thing. And sometimes it would have some kind of bigger name for something that has an animal product into it. So, I'm still on the journey. I do want to go alkaline vegan one day. But I think everything is balanced. So, yeah. And then, just along the journey, I've been researching a lot of stuff. And I'm like, yo, I did not go to Walmart, Kroger, like any of the mainstream stores. Like I was shopping at Sprouts and Whole Foods for a very long time, especially living in LA. Like they have Whole Foods everywhere, and that's all I was going to. So when I moved to Dallas, they didn't have as many like Whole Foods and Sprouts, so I had to go to like Walmart and stuff. And let me tell you, when you go to a store like Whole Foods and you're used to it, like it smells good when you walk in and all that stuff. When I walk into these other stores that have like a lot of meat in there and just like meat-filled stores, it stunk really bad. Like I don't know what the smell is, but it stunk really bad. And I'm just like walking by the meat section and I'm just like in a daze because I'm like, this is really crazy. Like, for one, this meat looks gray. Like, who wants to eat gray meat? I can't believe I was eating gray meat. And it just really grosses me out at this point. Like, I'll have cravings. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes if somebody got some chicken wings, I'm like, ooh, them chicken wings smell good. But then, like, I think about actually biting into some flesh. Like, my stomach is getting sick thinking about it right now. And then smelling seafood after you eat, it don't smell good no more. It just smells like a whole lot of bad And y'all, it's like even okay, I ate macaroni. I had a slip up and I have not eaten anything with cheese for like 2 years. And I was like, I'm gonna have me a bite of macaroni. I got me a plate. I can't even eat the plate. I took one bite and you could taste, when I tell you could taste the spoiled milk. Like anything you make with milk and you're baking it, it becomes spoiled milk at that point because you're cooking it. And you could taste the spoiled milk in whatever, they got milk in. I try to eat donuts. I try to eat French toast. I try to eat whatever you like, ice cream. Like, it just tastes disgusting because it's been there for so long. And, if we eat this stuff from birth, you don't notice it. You don't really realize it being weird and stuff because you're so used to it. Your body's used to the taste, the smell, the texture. But once I removed myself from it, I could not fathom the smell anymore. I couldn't, like, even tasting it, I feel like I was going to throw up. And I actually did slip up in 2018, y'all. I slipped up. I went to go visit my mother in Arizona because that's where I grew up. And if you know me, you know I love Mexican food, okay? I love carne asada fries. Love them. So I was like, I'm going to go get me some carne asada fries, whatever. I've been doing good. When I tell you, it felt like somebody was stabbing my stomach. Because my body hasn't had any of that stuff for so long. And that's when I was like, it's done. Like, my body at this point, I have changed my DNA. Because when you eat this meat, it alters your DNA. You can research this stuff. They have so many studies on the internet of like what you eat affects your DNA. The type of environment you're in affects your DNA. All these things affect your DNA. Vaccines affect your DNA. And there's so many researchers out there. Like, you don't even have to listen to me. You can go look for this yourself. So the real reasons why I went vegan is because, one, it just didn't seem right. And I found all this information that I never heard of. And it resonated with me. Like, I don't know why it resonated with me and why it made sense. But it did, because, once I found out, I'm trying to run to the internet and trying to tell people, like, look, they're putting this in the food, they're putting that. We were never supposed to be eating this stuff. They're trying to kill us with our food and all this stuff. And a lot of people rejected it. And I'm like, I know if somebody came to me telling me that, I feel like I would have received it. So I don't know why some people can receive it and some people don't. Like, I don't have an answer for that. But when I started looking into veganism, it just resonated with me. It just sat right with me. And then, like I said, like, just going around to the stores and seeing just dead flesh everywhere just seemed really weird. And you watch videos of them, like, I cried because they had like all these little chickens, like they were baby chicks. They were so cute. And then they just started going like this. Like, I don't know what it was called, but they just started like alive. They were alive. I'm like, can y'all kill them? Can you like shoot them with something so they're already dead? No, they're killing these animals conscious while they're alive, and these animals are going through this. You don't think that the energy of these animals being slaughtered while their conscience is affecting us, like our DNA, or like, just energetically wise? Like, that's a big thing for me. Is, I don't want to eat something that was going through pain, that was like scared and all that stuff, because I feel like I'm eating that energy. Yeah, I really do. And that's why I don't even go out to eat no more, because one, people will say, oh yeah, it's vegan, and it's not. And then two, you don't know what kind of energy that they have when they're preparing your food. So now I cook a lot of stuff at home. But, and for those of you who are here now, I said something earlier about how long it actually takes meat to digest in your body. When you eat fruits and vegetables, you going boo-boo the next day or that same day. Like, when I drink smoothies, I'm going to the bathroom like an hour or two later. We're supposed to go to the bathroom, number two, as much as we eat. And even as a vegan, you could become backed up if you're eating like a lot of soy and bread and pasta and not like, just too many starches. Which has happened to me on this journey, because my body is getting more sensitive the longer I'm on this journey. And it's a lifestyle. Like, I gotta get better every day, because I don't even know what this shirt is made of. Like, I hope it has no animal products. I don't even buy soap. Like, this girl tried to give me some goat milk soap, and I'm like, I'm vegan. Like, doesn't mean I don't, like, just because I'm vegan doesn't mean I don't eat meat. It means I don't use anything with animal products. I don't want no clothes, no shoes, nothing in my home that has to do with the animal. Because at the end of the day, your skin absorbs. Like, if I'm washing my face and my body with some goat's milk, that is still getting inside of my skin and inside of my body. I don't want to do it. So, and I've been feeling so much better. My period has went from 7-8 days to 3 to 5 days. I used to go through pads every hour. Like, the first 2 days, horrible. Like, I really thought I needed to go to the hospital, because it just was not normal, y'all. Like, being on my period was not normal. Like, I was bleeding a lot. Like, I was going through night pads within 2 hours, just full. And I'm like, this ain't right, man. This ain't right. And now I use organic cotton pads, which we all know that you got to change them more frequently. But I can wear those for like 2 hours, 3 hours and be good, because I'm not bleeding as much as I used to. Sometimes I still have bad cramps. Sometimes I drink too much alcohol still, which is something I do need to get better with. Or like I eat like a lot of breads that month, or like a lot of pasta starch, and my body just doesn't like that. But it's not as bad as it used to be, like when I was eating meat, and I'm not, bleeding as much, which I'm going to try Yoni Pros, because I heard it's supposed to help. So, I've been doing these tests on myself, like, to know that eating meat or any type of animal product does have an effect on you. Like, if you go look at like some of my first videos on my YouTube channel for anyone that's new here, you will see my skin. Like right now I'm a little bit breaking out because my period's about to start, and I have to start learning about how to clean your blood, because I came across this girl and she was talking about how you could clean your blood to prevent hormonal breakouts. So for the most part, I just have like kind of like a little bit of scarring from my old breakouts, and I'm gonna do a chemical peel because, you know, I want my skin to get right. I'm trying to like stop wearing makeup and stuff. And if you go look at like my old videos, you'll see my skin, like, it's a major difference. Like, I never probably would have came out here looking like this 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Like, you could just see the difference in my skin. People come up to me like, your skin looks a lot better. Like, if they haven't seen me in a while, like, something's different about your skin. And I ain't never got compliments on my skin. So, you know, and I'm living with people right now. They're alkaline vegan, for the most part. And that really inspires me to want to go better and do better and get better and gain more knowledge about this stuff, because it does feel better. Their kids are alkaline vegan. One of their kids, she doesn't eat any of that stuff. Like, her body just rejects it. So, you know, I really observe them and how the food, like, because sometimes here and there they will eat meat like once a year or something like that, and some of the kids will get really sick or like have like physical reactions. And, you know, to me that just says a lot. You know, like, okay, if they're usually eating this way, alkaline vegan, and they don't have any of these reactions, and as soon as they eat something with like this kind of chemical in it, or yeast, or just meat, because it's not always just about meat, there's chemicals and bonding agents that can create negative effects in our body as well. And just seeing like them getting like rashes on their body or stuff, like, really says a lot to me. And I just think it's something that we should be conscious of and just start eating better. Even if you do still eat meat or something, there's so many ways you can incorporate more vegetables, more fruit, more water, just more juicing, and maybe like fasting, just to, you know, be healthier. So that's kind of how I became vegan. And yeah, share this with your friends, your family. I'll probably do another part to this video because I just want to touch on it a little bit better and give you guys some more information. But I'm doing a lot of research, and I'm probably going to sign up for school soon, because I really, really, really want to be able to break this stuff down to you guys, because it makes sense in my head. Like, the thing about me is I'll read stuff, or like, you know, I'll like read science studies, and it makes sense to me. I know exactly what they're trying to say. Now, I have a hard time articulating it sometimes, and that's another thing. Like, all these things that I come across scientifically make sense to me, and I get it. It's like, you know, 2 + 2 = 4 to me. But getting other people to understand it, I have to come up with a way to do that. So, you know, this was already hard for me, like, trying to articulate myself, because I have social anxiety, and you know, going live or just like talking about this stuff in front of a group of people is really terrifying for me. But I know it's something I'm really strong in, and I really want to help people. So sometimes I can go from point to point and talk in circles, and I just want to get better with that. So I really do appreciate you guys for watching this video. You can go watch Cowspiracy. You can go watch What the Health. Just start Googling stuff like dairy and the human reproductive system. Just like start Googling a lot of stuff. There's a lot of studies out there. And just start, like, you know, start looking into stuff for yourself. But thank you guys again so much for watching my video. And I will see you I'll see you guys on Thursday.